Colorado's first human West Nile case is here early this year. Last year was the worst in decades for mosquitoes and the virus in our state. So our Evan Krugel starts us off tonight with what is essentially a summer mosquito forecast.
These mosquitoes like to take my blood in the morning.
Most people try to avoid mosquito bites.
These guys, they won't have it any other way.
But Bob Hancock welcomes the pain.
I can barely feel it.
Feeding his jungle mosquitoes at his MSU Denver lab.
I'm the only one that gets to feed them here, unless, of course, it happens outside of my watch.
Bob is known as the Mosquito Man, and last year he was busy.
We measured the sheer numbers of mosquitoes with traps, and we had there are traps that are set weekly, and we had numbers of mosquitoes that had never been seen before.
That led to a historic year for West Nile virus, with Colorado leading the nation in deaths and nearly setting records for hospitalizations.
Anyhow, you ready?
One of those patients was Doug Pfluger, who is still finding his balance on his daily walks with Trevor.
You know, it's good to have something to hold on to.
Doug has MS, but never had major problems until last August.
I was fine one day working out in the garage or the backyard, and that night I was laying on the floor.
Doctors at UC Health diagnosed him with West Nile virus.
I was basically paralyzed, couldn't move, fingers, toes, anything, and that was really dark. You can imagine laying in the hospital bed, staring out the window at Colfax, watching the cars go by and couldn't move.
After months of rehab, Doug has regained most of his mobility, but still gets tired quickly.
And I mean, my hands are still numb, my feet are numb. That's one of the lasting effects. I've got a headache that I've had since last September.
He says he's worried for others and wonders how last year's mosquito boom will impact this year.
I've heard that this year's going to be worse than last year, so, you know, I wish everybody luck, and hopefully not too many people have to go through it like I did.
It's on our mind, and we're expecting more of the same.
Bob says it's still too early to know how the year will shake out, but says people should prepare for another year of unexpected bites.
Now, Bob says early season traps aren't showing huge numbers, but he says that could change. He believes that dry spring we had may have actually killed off some of those offspring from last year, but he says we really won't know how bad this West Nile season could be until much later this summer. Kyle?
Yeah, I'm curious if the early season numbers look good kind of on the whole, but we've got this one case out of Arapahoe County. When do you think we are going to know?
Yeah, he says it could really be 3-4 weeks from now, maybe all the way into August. These West Nile cases typically spike much later in the summer, so having one right now, he says, is certainly concerning, but he says what he's seeing in his traps isn't necessarily concerning on its face. So could be a few weeks, but certainly we'll find out at some point.
Good perspective. Evan, thank you.